in the area that was most devastated by the civil war there. Just briefly on northern Uganda, it was a brutal civil war. Over 1.3 million people were killed, and millions of people, over 2 million people, were displaced and rounded up into camps that were supposed to be for their safety. Wasn't necessarily safer in the government camps than being outside, but the people were caught in the middle, and this conflict lasted for over 20 years. The UUSC approached us just after peace had broken out and people were starting to leave the camps for internally displaced people, or IDP camps, and were going back to their original villages. And one of the big concerns was that although the camps were very difficult and overcrowded and declared by the United Nations to be one of the worst humanitarian situations in the world, one advantage of being in the camps was that all of the resources were centralized. And that now that people were going home, they were dispersed and resources were far apart. And a lot of that work of filling the gap, whether it was collecting water or collecting firewood, doing all of the farming, a lot of that would fall on women. And so UUSC contacted Amy and asked if we would go and do a training in which we would demonstrate some of the technologies that we use here in D-Lab and we teach our students. And so we went. While we were there, it was clear that there were not a lot of resources, that if we showed somebody how a technology, it would have been very difficult for people in these remote areas to access the supplies that would be necessary, or a merchant or a market to buy these things. And we really thought that the best strategy would be to actually teach